Try to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark, a.k.a. Derringer. Today is Sunday, November 24th, and you are listening to episode 236 of the Instant Action Podcast, your weekly source for planet-side news and information. As always, I'm brought to you by great listeners like you via the Support the Show tab on instantactionpodcast.com. So what's been going on with me this week? Well, it's bright and early on a Sunday morning recording the podcast, I'll tell you that. With no soccer, I got nothing to do. I slept late. Now it's raining outside anyway, so I'm glad I'm not playing in the finals today because that would have sucked. It's like 30-something degrees out, raining. It would have been awful. It would have been great gameplay, but it would have been awful all at the same time to drive up to New Hampshire to deal with this today. So I'm kind of glad that I am instead sitting in my basement recording a podcast this week. So yeah, I mean, I've got nothing going on today. I'm going to log in and play some PlanetSide 2. They're going through, they're just about to do a server update here because they're still having server issues, which I'll talk about a little bit in this week's show a little bit later. But other than that, I'm going to log in, play some PlanetSide 2 today, rack up some double XP. Might play a little WoW today, might play a little Call of Duty today. I don't know. I got the entire day in front of me to do whatever the hell I want to, and it's been a long time since I've gotten to do something like that. So what's in store for this week's show before I go play games all day? Well, first up, I need to offer up my congratulations to the PlanetSide 2 dev team for their 7th anniversary of the game. We got a game update with some new anniversary bundles that maybe are a little controversial to some people, and I'll talk about. Also had their share of issues, which they're patching and stuff like that, and I'll talk about that as well, because they're definitely worth talking about this year. After that, there was that small hotfix that was pushed out to fix issues brought up by the anniversary update, which I'll talk about. And then I'm going to finish up this week by talking about the dev live stream that never was. So strap in as we hot drop into another episode of the Instant Action Podcast. All right, everybody. First up, November 19th, we got the 7-year anniversary game update for PlanetSide 2. As we know, PlanetSide was released on November 20th of 2012, which seems like a long time ago. I mean, 7 years. That is an actual long time. So basically, I've been podcasting about PlanetSide 2 for more than 7 years, probably 7.5 years at this point, because back when I started Reachcast with Torx and Nox, we were doing that even when it was still in beta before it actually got released. I mean, I remember doing a lot of beta stuff for PlanetSide 2. So I'm excited for PlanetSide 2 to make it to a 7th year anniversary. Are the populations as high as they used to be? No. Is the gameplay the same as it used to be originally? No. Do I still have fun when I log in and play PlanetSide 2? Yes. So that's really the checkbox that I need to continue to check off in order to continue to play this game itself. So as the game update itself says, PlanetSide 2 has reached battle rank 7. So that's pretty amusing. There is a 7-year loyalty decal available in the depot right now from the 19th through the 30th. So you have until the end of the month, end of November. So you've got a week left right now to pick up this loyalty decal. It costs 1 cert or 1 Daybreak cash, and you can place it on your armor and your vehicles. Also, for the 7-year anniversary, they originally announced that they would be offering double XP from the 19th through the 21st. They have since extended that, and I'll talk about that in the hotfix. And of course, members have double XP going on right now. That's why I'll be logging into PlanetSide 2 later on today. Try and push my Vano character further along to BR 100. I'm about halfway through through 99. So I'm excited to do ASP on my Vanu character finally. Now, the big news is obviously the anniversary bundles, which are also available in the depot right now. And these also are running through November 30th. So you still have some time to get out there and purchase them if you want to. So the first one, just like last year, there's 3 bundles just like last year. The first one is the Recruits 7-year bundle. It's $2,999 Daybreak cash, so basically $30. You're going to get access to the High Threat helmet, and that's unlocked on all 4 factions, including NSO. And you also get access to the NS61 Networked Emissary. The networked camo to it is kind of like a circuit board a little bit, or circuit-ish camo. It's not the original circuit board camo that came with the NVIDIA promo way back in the day, but a little similar to it. So that is the first bundle. And after I talk about all of them, I'm going to talk about my thoughts on whether they're worth it or not, because I know that's a main question that a lot of people have. So the second bundle is the Soldiers 7-year anniversary bundle. This is $3,999 Daybreak cash, so $40. You get the same high threat helmet. You get the same networked emissary. You also unlock the Singularity faction camo on all 4 factions. You also unlock the 7th anniversary banner on all 4 factions. You get a 6-month heroic boost. You also get the NSX networked Naginata and the NSX networked Yumi. So there's your second bundle for $40. And the final bundle, this is the Ancients 7-year anniversary bundle. This is for $7,999 Daybreak cash, so basically $80. Unless you're a member, don't forget you do get a discount for being a member. I know I looked at it today. For my membership, it was like $7,100 something, so definitely less if you're a member, obviously. You get the same high threat helmet, you get the same networked emissary, you get the same Singularity faction camo, you get the same profile banner, the same Naginata and Yumi. In addition, though, you don't get obviously the 6-month heroic boost. Instead, you get a 12-month heroic boost, which is one of the most coveted items in the game. You also unlock the Ancient Psychonetic Blade, which is a new melee weapon in the game, which looks really cool. I'm not going to lie. It's if you look at it, it's like a bunch of different shards that are kind of held together and float around. It's definitely a Vanu weapon if I ever saw one. So I'm a little disappointed that this is the only one you get for all factions, because it really doesn't fit the TR. It really doesn't fit the NC. It really does not fit the NSO at all. My one complaint, or one of my complaints, I guess, is that we only got one blade and it's the same across all of them. Obviously, it would have required a lot more developer time to create different blades across all of them, but I would have liked to see something different for all of them. Next, though, you do also get the Prismatic Singularity camo. Now, I didn't even talk about the Singularity faction camo. The Singularity camo itself kind of looks like a circuit board again, and it's just in a single color. I think it's just plain white, or maybe it's faction colored. I'm sorry. So TR, it's red. VS, it's purple, and NC, it's blue, and if you're in NS Operatives, it's kind of a yellow. You also, if you purchase this largest bundle, you get access to that prismatic version of it. So obviously prismatic, it's all the colors of the rainbow. Roy G. Biv, if you will. Not bad. You also get the NSX networked Tomoe, the NSX networked Daimyo, the NSX networked Tengu. So there's your scout rifle, sniper rifle, and submachine gun to go along with the sidearm, the emissary, the LMG, the Naginata, and the assault rifle, the Yumi. And then the biggest news, I think, out of this is you also unlock some new perfect implants. You unlock the perfect counterintelligence, the perfect carapace, and the perfect bionics implants. And what makes them perfect is that they are unlocked account-wide. They function the exact same way as the regular version of their exceptional implant, but the perfect moniker gives them the ability to be unlocked across all of your characters, which is pretty darn cool if you ask me. I think I have Carapace on one of my characters, and I think I probably got it in last year's bundle. I have counterintelligence on at least one, and I think I probably got that in a bundle last year too. Bionics is not one that I have on any of my characters, and actually one I've kind of been shooting for my engineers, so I'm excited to actually get this perfect Bionics one. As of this recording, I have not purchased the anniversary bundle yet. Part of me is hoping and wishing that somehow this will magically appear on my account because the devs are so good to me at PlanetSide 2. And I've also been holding off because, A, I haven't had a chance to log into the game the past few days because of other commitments, but there's also been quite a few bugs with the bundles and stuff like that I haven't had a chance, that I just haven't gone and purchased it as of yet. So as it stands right now, I have not purchased the Ancient 7-year anniversary bundle, but being the glutton for punishment I will most likely be purchasing this before the 30th rolls along. If anything, just to get that 12-month heroic boost. I mean, I wish I could get the boost on multiple characters because I play multiple characters, but getting it for at least one is better than getting it for nothing. I do have to say. And now the question for me is, do I unlock it on my Vanu character where I've been unlocking it for the past few years, or do I now unlock it on my NSO character since my Vanu character is almost BR 100? So questions for me there. And obviously it doesn't make sense for me to purchase the 7-year the Soldiers bundle at $40 just to get a 6-month. And it makes zero sense to purchase 2 7-year bundles just to get heroic boosts. Now, if you did happen to I'm going to talk about this rather than later in the show. If you did happen to purchase the bundle on the first day, do note that they made a price mistake and set the Ancients bundle at 8,999 Daybreak Hash or $90. And this was, they say, a price mistake. I know a lot of people have their conspiracy theories flying that the new price for anniversary bundles is always going to be 90, and they just failed to implement that properly this year. And I guess we'll see what happens on the 8th year bundle. But right now, if you purchase the bundle at the $8,999 price, you were supposed to have gotten it for $7,999. And as compensation, they know whose accounts purchased it. You should have already received or will receive soon 1,000 Daybreak Cash on your character to make up for the difference. And they're also giving you another 12-month heroic boost for free, which is pretty damn awesome if you really think about it. So I don't think anybody who purchased the wrong price has anything to complain about at this point, because a 12-month heroic boost alone is a very expensive item within the game itself. So now let me take a few moments just to talk about what I think is worth what in these anniversary bundles. Because this year, I see zero reason to purchase the Recruits bundle. And if that's going to be the case going forward, I mean, you're paying $30 for the Emissary and a helmet, which I think is way overpriced for what you're getting on this. I think they should have at least thrown in maybe a 1-month heroic boost. I think they would potentially get more people buying this one. Because at this point, if you're only getting 2 items in the smallest bundle, it's not worth it as a bundle. Moving up an extra $10 and purchasing the next bundle at least gets you a 6-month boost. It gets you a banner, it gets you the camo, and it gets you 3 guns rather than 1 gun. So I'm I'm kind of sitting here scratching my head why they would even make the recruits bundle available to people. It's just absolutely not worth it, especially when you factor in that the soldiers bundle at $10 more gives you so much more value for your money than the first one does. That I think if I was Daybreak Games and working on these, I wouldn't even offer the first bundle anymore. I'd love to see their specs on who's actually purchasing the smallest bundle, because the number has to be so abysmally low because it just doesn't make sense. Now, there's quite a few people complaining about the cost of the main bundle, and I can see an argument for this being overpriced, especially when you look back at some of the early bundles. The early bundles way back, first, second, third, fourth year, they were $40. Granted, you did not get a 12-month heroic boost out of it, but still, you were getting basically all the same stuff as the one now, except for that 12-month heroic boost for half the cost. So does it mean that the 12-month heroic boost is worth at least $40? It's definitely worth at least $40. But I don't feel that as much as we're getting our money's worth when you look at past bundles when you get something like this. And I know there's a bunch of Reddit posts out there saying you're stupid if you buy the Ancients bundle, and fine, I'm stupid. I'm going to buy this bundle because I have FOMO, fear of missing out, and need to have everything PlanetSide 2 related, even if I shell out a little cash for it. So I think it's overpriced. I do think the stuff that you're getting in it is okay. I mean, honestly, I have a Naginata, I have a Yumi, I have a Emissary, I have a Tomoe, I have a Daimyo, I have a Tengu, I have all those guns. I even have some of these exceptional implants on various characters. But I'm still going to go through and purchase this to get everything that I can within PlanetSide 2. And if you like to support the game, you should be doing it too. I mean, I know I just said price was but honestly, I think a 12-month rug boost, when you think about it, is it worth $40? Yeah, it's definitely worth $40. I do wish the bundle was priced a little bit lower, though. $80 or even I'm paying $72 as a member is a lot of money to shell out, but it's something I really usually do only about once a year besides membership, so it'll have to be for me. All right, so there's the bundles. I recommend that if you're going to purchase one, that you at least purchase the second one for $40. And obviously, if you want to get everything, you're going to go out and purchase that $80 one, which is pretty much where I'm going to sit. So in addition to this, they've also released a new directive line, and this is the Exceptional 3 directive. Finishing this directive line, and the good news is all those networked guns all work towards this Exceptional 3 directive, and it sounds like future holiday weapons are planned to be included in it as well. Now, I don't know, I haven't done any of the other exceptional ones. I don't know why I would think I would do this one, but having seen the camo for this one, it's called the Brilliant Camouflage, or Brilliant New Camouflage is what they're calling it. It's basically a friggin' rainbow camouflage. I hate every part of it. I hate to say that, but I just don't like the look of it at all. It's going to be very confusing for players to pick out who they're fighting if someone's wearing this camo, is a complaint that I have. But it is so rainbow, I really just dislike it. I dislike it. I can't see myself ever doing the directive, the Exceptional 3 directive, just to receive this camo. I'm sorry, but I said it. And finally, the last new thing is they released a new world map screen in this game update. So it's really a big change from the old map screen. It actually has a picture of Araxis sitting in the middle of it, the actual planet itself. It's got a list of war zones and safe zones on the left-hand side. It even shows you which faction controls which continent. When you're actually selecting a continent on the right side of the screen, it shows a little blurb of what the continent is. It shows a status of the continent itself with the population. And there's obviously a warp button down in the lower left corner to actually drop onto that continent itself. So they did say that this is going to allow them to more easily relay information and get ready for the launch of new zones, plural, and that they're going to build out the screen over the next few game updates. So by new zones, I'm thinking, and I have no obvious direct information on this, I'm just going by speculation. Since they say zones, we do know Sanctuary is a zone that they're thinking of pushing out, and also the other one is Osher is being talked about as well. So that leads me to believe that we're getting close to seeing both Osher and Sanctuary in the next game update, and that would take care of their new zones, plural, because that's technically 2 zones. But the Warzone list has room for at least 4 more war zones, and the safe zones has at least 3 or 4 more safe zones. So they've definitely built in room to add more continents and more safe zones to the game. Is that something we'll ever see? Who knows? But at least they've built in to have more. Now, just to wrap up this game update, there were some other miscellaneous changes, fixes, and additions. They have fixed the Revenant implant, so it's working. They've fixed the Spitfire auto turret, so it no longer has a bugged cooldown. They fixed the Commando knife, so it now counts as a melee weapon. They fixed Soltech's server region location text to show correctly in the character screen. They made some other various UI-related performance improvements. Drop pods are no longer pumpkins. They fixed some other hand positions on weapons. They fixed the emissaries' ADS and hip fire positions. They fixed the breakdown duplicates button not showing the correct breakdown amount. Mine's been showing 0 forever, so I'm glad that's fixed. And max units should no longer have their crazy legs upon being revived. If you haven't seen that one, I think a couple videos ago I had Madman had been rezzed as a max and his crazy legs were going all over the place. So I've definitely seen that one. So there is your entire 7-year anniversary game update. And let's move on to the hotfix that followed shortly afterwards. So yeah, because obviously the game update broke some things in game, and I know the devs are still dealing with server performance issues. Like I said, there's a restart probably is ending now for the US servers on Sunday. And I know they've been restarting servers nonstop. Well, not nonstop, but occasionally they've been restarting servers over the weekend as well. So certainly some bugs still exist. But on November 21st, they did push out a hotfix to fix the issues, the specific issues that came with the anniversary game update. And those fixes are that first, perfect implants can now be equipped by all characters on an account that owns them. Previously, you used to see a little lock screen on other accounts. They weren't being unlocked across all of them. They added a new double XP event for all players as a sorry, and that's going to start on Monday the 25th, and it's going to run through the end of the month. They also fixed some broken text strings in the membership panel. They also fixed so that perfect implants no longer show on the implant screen, but they can still be equipped and viewed through the terminal and character loadout screen. They fixed it so that perfect implants cannot be, well, if you equip a perfect and a non-perfect implant, that their effects don't stack. The biggest culprit there was regarding Carapace. People were equipping both the Carapace and the perfect Carapace and getting double the health out of it. Obviously, that's a big no-no, so that has been fixed. You can no longer break down the perfect implants. And they also fixed on the PS4 Improvision was not showing player highlights. That's been fixed. And finally, they have some other server stability improvements. And like I said, those have been ongoing all weekend and at the end of last week. So hopefully all the little bugs and stuff introduced are being fixed or have been fixed with this update and the various restarts. All right. With that, let's move on to our third and final topic about the dev live stream that wasn't. So like many of you, I rushed home this past, on the 20th. What day was that again? Was that on Wednesday? Yeah, the past Wednesday, I rushed home from work. I even left a little early so that I could make sure that I would be online to watch this dev live stream. And I got home just before 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, when it was about to start. Went downstairs, booted up the PC, opened up Twitch, went to the PlanetSide 2 screen to see that no live stream was occurring. And I was honestly confused. I assumed that it was running late, but then quickly jumped over to Reddit and saw that the dev live stream was being delayed. And here is the official announcement that was made regarding it. In addition, he posted it over on, or Andy Seitz posted it over on the official forums, and he wrote, "Hey everyone, just a heads up that we will be postponing today's live stream. In addition to the general anniversary topics, we plan to announce details around a major update that we're preparing for release early next year. The heart of today's live stream was to discuss the upcoming release in detail, showcase assets, in-game walkthroughs, etc. However, and for the sake of complete transparency, there were a few key things we felt critical to this announcement and discussion that are just not ready to present today. I've opted to hold off until the week of December 9th, so we can continue preparing the update and have a much more refined unveiling during the live stream. The specific date and time will be announced in early December. Again, my apologies for the decision to postpone, but we can't wait to share more details in a few weeks." And again, that was by Andy Seitz himself about the live stream. And notice, like I said, they posted that at 11:33. That for me would be 3:30 in the afternoon. I was not paying attention to anything online at 3:30 because I was rushing to finish up all the various projects I was doing at work so that I could get out early and rush home for this. So I didn't even see this announcement, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who didn't see this announcement. I'm disappointed in the late notice for this. I mean, canceling a live stream the day of really, really sucks. I really think they should have made that decision, that no-go decision, the day before at least, but clearly they wanted to showcase some stuff and get it out to us, but just couldn't do it in time. So at least they had the balls to say, look, we're not ready, we're going to delay this, as sucky as that is and as late as that was. I do have to give them the props for pulling the trigger and saying, hey, this wasn't ready, and we're not going to show you something that's not ready. So at least I will give them props for that, even though I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see the live stream itself and see what these new assets they're pushing out. And again, I've said earlier on the show, I'm assuming that we're talking about Osher and that we're talking about Sanctuary, because those are really the two big things that should be coming down the pipeline soon. And from his notice, it sounds like that's something that we're going to be getting in early 2020, so early next year. I'm guessing we're going to be seeing both of those assets moved into the game itself. So again, I'm disappointed that we didn't get a live stream. I can wait 2 weeks to see the assets that they're talking. Is it 2 weeks? What did he say? December 9th. So if it was supposed to be on the 20th, 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks. 9th is a Monday. I'd be surprised if they do it on a Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if it's later in that week, in the second week of December. So, I mean, we're talking 3 weeks for them to polish up whatever they're working on and get it out, get it to a state where they can show off some stuff to us. If that's the time they need to make stuff better. I'd much rather see a more finished, polished product than some half-working, not working something that they're going to be showing us. So again, I'm disappointed we didn't get to see the live stream. That was really hyped, really hyped by them. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they did have the guts to say we're not ready and postpone it. So I will patiently wait, but just know this thing has got to blow my fucking mind when it does come out because you made me wait a couple weeks. All right. With that, let's wrap up this week's show and let's move on to housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Come back later, please.
Housekeeping.
Not now.
Housekeeping.
Go away.
I coming anyway?
So I had wrapped up recording of this week's show, and then my phone pings me and saying I did actually get an email this week. So I'm re-recording this section and slapping into this week just for you, Arai, because I did get an email this week from Arai, and he writes, "This week has seen a lot of contempt on the PlanetSide subreddit, much of which is understandable given the server issues, rushed patch, and botched anniversary stream. I was really looking forward to the stream until a friend messaged me on Steam informing me it had been called off last minute." Side note for me, yeah, I didn't even know it was not on until I got home. He continues, "The issue here is that the stream normally serves as a preview of features to come, a reassurance to the players that new and meaningful content will be coming. Given the uncertainty and turmoil surrounding the layoffs and team restructuring after Arena's launch, a flop, the PlanetSide community is desperate for reassurance that their beloved title will not be neglected, especially since we've lost devs like Nick, Drew, Paul, and Garrett that we've come to respect and appreciate over the years. They've managed to deliver content and meaningful updates with the resources they had." My side note there is, yes, that's something I failed to mention when I just talked about this in the last section of the show. So I'm glad Arai brought this forward because that is a huge part of not having the dev live stream. There are quite a few people right now thinking, shouting dead game, devs can't even get a live stream together, can't even put together an update which should just have anniversary items in it properly and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of non-reassurance going on right now in the game, and not having a dev live stream kind of added on to that. Arai goes on to continue by saying, "Yet the issue I've observed the past week is that the anniversary bundles were offered in a vacuum, namely in the absence of the anniversary stream and reassurance from DBG. Understandably, the community reacted upset in light of this because attention is drawn to the value of the bundle itself rather than seeing them as a means to contribute to the game. In a sense, one would be overpaying on the bundles knowing that the excess would be for the game's development. But with Arena around and no dev stream, this leaves doubts. I mean, $80 on top of membership for a bunch of reskins and the implants is audacious to ask. For this type of money, one could get a new full-value AAA title or several ones on sale. The price hike in the previous years and more aggressive requirements for the paid directives are certainly evidence of a more aggressive approach to monetization, and this trend does bother me. I'm not even upset about the perfect implants. It actually provides more value. But then I take issue that these were offered in the light of undelivered promises like being able to reliably craft exceptional implants, while there are still plenty of implants and suit slots that are considered useless. Also being able to respect ASP points, for example, for a cert cost possibly exempted for members, was promised and never delivered upon. The fact is that all things related to monetization are pushed out on schedule, but often the things that matter like content updates, bug fixes, and quality of life or gameplay improvements are neglected on the way. I just want some patches to really focus on these aspects for once. I guess what I'm trying to convey is that once it became clear the stream was not happening, they could have delayed the anniversary sale along with it. Some of the issues that occurred really reflected a lacking quality testing and a rushed release, and that does give the impression of a certain degree of disarray within the dev team, especially in a time where the community is longing for reassurance. That being said, I'll be looking forward to the dev stream, although the disconnect to the anniversary cannot be remedied for at this point. The expectation for the community to the stream are undeniably higher than ever at this point. Cheers, awry. P.S. I hope Rel will be wearing the Paradise shirt on stream as an homage to Nick. I doubt he'll be donning a majestic beard and colorful mohawk, though. I think Arai hits 100% everything on the point in this email. And after reading his email, after I finished recording the show, I realized that there was quite a lot more for me to talk about regarding the anniversary bundles. I'm glad Arai sent this email in because, again, I agree with 100% of what he wrote in this email. And I think it's important to spend the time talking about this and for the devs to hear this, especially, not so much Rel, but I think Andy needs to hear this, and I think Justin needs to hear this as well. Andy being the owner of the game for all intents and purposes, and Justin being the community manager for this. Justin's doing the job that Roxley did in the past, and that before her, that Raider X or Tony did in the past. Both he and Roxy took the information from this and made their decisions based on it. So I think it's important for the two of them to see how the community feels. Right now, like Arai says, the community is feeling unassured about the future of the game. Yet, still, an anniversary bundle hits us that has an $80 value tacked onto it. That is a lot of reskinned items within the game itself. Sure, there's a new camo, there's a new banner, there's stuff like that. But the majority of this bundle is just a reskin of existing things within the game itself. And it does say a lot to the community. Maybe they didn't mean to, but it does say a lot to the community that we are prioritizing monetizing this game rather than other things that people want. And I hadn't even thought that, or it didn't even come out, that not having a dev live stream or an anniversary live stream like they've done every other year, but still throwing a bundle out really does not instill confidence in the community. And I think that's why I'm a little down on the bundle this year as well as in other years. I think if they had just had the anniversary live stream and said, hey, it's our 7th anniversary, we're excited, here's the new dev team, gone through the bundle and talked about all the things they added for the anniversary and stuff like this, and then said, hey, in 3 weeks, we're going to do another live stream that's going to show off all the new stuff that we're working on for the year, I think they could have gotten away with that, and the community might have taken all this stuff a little better than they did. So, Arai, thank you for the email, and thank you for making me revisit this topic and talk more about it, because you succinctly covered everything that I've been feeling about the game or about the bundle and the anniversary that I think a lot of other people are thinking about it. And I do hope the devs, if they listen to this week's show, listen to what you've said about it, listen to what the community said about it, listen to what I've said about it, because right now they're not instilling a lot of confidence in the future with what happened this past week. So again, thank you for the email, Arai. That's going to be it for this week's show, though. How can you get in touch with me or the show itself? First, visit my website, which is www.instantactionpodcast.com. Email me like Arai did at instantactionshow@gmail.com. Call me, leave me a voicemail, 347-4VM-4PS2. Those digits, 347-486-4772. And finally, follow the show on Twitter at InstActPodcast, INSTACT Podcast. That's where you'll get all the news about what's going on with the show and PlanetSide 2. But in closing, if you've enjoyed the show, please leave me a review on your podcast listening avenue of choice, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere else. Thinking about it, that's a great Christmas present for me. Also, feel free to tell your friends and outfit mates about the show. And finally, thanks for listening, and keep spamming that join combat, formerly known as Instant Action Button. Derringer out.